wonders of the world. So many wonders to behold. So many questions in my mind. So many questions, so little time. Answers don't so easily come unless you know to ask someone who is a master of the trade. Ask them how clouds get their shape. Welcome to What the Heck Is That with David Shai Ventura. Hi everyone, and welcome back to What the Heck Is That with David Shai Ventura. I am very excited to introduce our guest, Richard Stiller. He has dedicated much of his time healing the wounds of society. The project he has worked on are a very long list, but right now he is focused on his nonprofit, Mankind Project. It will take me an entire episode to list his achievements, so Richard, take it away.
I am so happy to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the Mankind Project. And you're right, we are very busy and we have a long list of things that must be done.
How did you start the Mankind Project?
Several years ago, actually it was about a decade ago, my mother was in a nursing facility that was controlled by the Motion Picture and Television Fund, and they wanted to close it down, and they wanted all of the elderly people who were dependent on their care to find other places, and the other places that were available to these people were not anywhere that you'd want to live. So we started a campaign that helped these elderly people, and we were successful. It was unbelievable what we were able to do, and it was a place called the Motion Picture Home, and my mom was able to finally die, as we say, in the bosom of her community, which is among her friends that she worked with. So we started I started then to being an activist and to writing about people who have no voice, and to hopefully add my voice, which is rather loud, as you can tell, to their voice, and helping them, which got us into working to fight anti-Semitism at UCLA, and we worked then to connect cultures, because I felt that I was a better Jew if I worked to protect the rights of people in other cultures.
Well, I bet they take you seriously now.
Well, I hope they take us seriously. I mean, this isn't a joke. You can tell what we're going through right now in our society is very serious. You have a major pandemic that has, for some reason, been politicized. And if you know that if a hurricane was coming and everyone knew it was coming, you would be working with your neighbors to help them, to help protect themselves from the hurricane. But for some reason, we are splintered. And that's the way it is with a lot of things today, is that we don't reach out beyond ourselves to help what we call quote unquote other. So we are so caught up in our own lives that we fail to see that our own lives can be helped by us helping other people. And help, of course, is the major word. And we do that with empathy, which is concern for other people. And we do it with kindness. So we developed a program called COVID Kindness, and we're out in the streets helping the homeless eat and get basic services.
How many people are involved in this project?
Well, the Mankind Project is me and my partner, Anne-Marie Johnson, who's an incredible activist and an actor, and she was the vice president of the Screen Actors Guild. And we have as our advisor, Peter Samuelson, who is a serial entrepreneur, and Peter started the Starlight Foundation, which granted wishes to terminally ill children. And now He is he's involved with First Star, which works with foster kids, and he just did a movie called Foster Boy that is like incredible. Everyone should see it. So we're a few people. It's Anne Marie, myself, Peter, who is advising us. My wife Nuala is our financial person. She does the books, and we have at any time we could have like about another 4 or 5 volunteers that are helping us create events, create videos, go out into the streets and help feed the homeless, work to connect ourselves with other cultures. So it's a long answer to your very simple question of how many people are with us. It varies from time to time, but we have a core knot of incredible people who are totally dedicated to bringing cultures together and giving voice to people who have no voice.
Wow, small but mighty.
Small but mighty. I love that. I love that. I think I'm going to make a t-shirt that says small but mighty.
What are the different causes that mankind had supported?
Well, like I had mentioned, we supported the rights of the elderly with the Motion Picture Home campaign, and we are working with we're working to connect cultures. So we've worked with George Takei, who's an incredible actor and activist. Then we connected the Japanese American communities with the Jewish communities in Los Angeles over the inspiration of this fellow named this incredible Japanese diplomat named Chiune Sugihara, who had never met a Jewish person in his life, yet he was able to save thousands of Jewish people from the Nazis during World War II. We work to help amplify the voices of Holocaust survivors through a concert that we put on called Bestemming. We've worked to fight racism through a program that we put together called Tears, and that includes some incredible, we call them inspiring people, that like Louis Gossett Jr. and Keith David and Ed Harris and Lynn Whitfield and so many other incredible actors who all have experienced racism, and they're putting their voices out there so that other people can connect to those voices and feel comfortable in sharing their own voices. What's going on in this country with racism is, I mean, this is another epidemic. It's an epidemic of ignorance, and it's an epidemic of hate. And this is another program that we've attacked, and we do these quite successfully because we influence a lot of people, and we see the fruits of our labor through the success of these programs.
You are making the world a better place by uniting people together with these groups. I would love to volunteer.
Well, David, you're in. You're in. I mean, what you're doing right now is such a help to us. Your show is incredible, and I've seen the people that you have on your show. I'm a huge fan of your show. I always hit it when it's on YouTube. I'm a subscriber. I click the like button, everything that you're supposed to do when you see the show. So, I mean, your help has already done incredible things for us, and I would love to have you as a volunteer. Consider yourself in.
Thank you. How long have you been talking about these problems?
Well, you know, it seems like I've been talking about these problems since, since I was in junior high, and some guy wouldn't let me on his basketball team because I was Jewish. So we start talking about these problems, and now we have the social media that allows us to continue talking about these problems. But as they say, talk is cheap. And you can go on Facebook or Twitter, and you can say whatever you want, and you could, and we see how these tweets hurt people. But I've been doing this for all of my life, and it's only recently that I found what we call the secret sauce in how to be effective in doing it. And the only way we can be effective is if people like you get what we're doing and you tell other people, and you do exactly what you're doing right now, which is connecting me to the people that you know so that they find out what we do, and we start turning talk into action. So yeah, I've been doing this since I was, I would say, in junior high, when I was refused to be on a basketball team because I was Jewish. That didn't feel good at all.
I bet that was a life-changing moment for you.
Well, I remember it. So yeah, it was a life-changing moment for me. And we all have these life-changing moments where we go back to our youth and we think, wow, why didn't I say something when that happened? Or why did I just go along when Stan, that was the kid's name, told me I couldn't be on his basketball team, and I was a tall kid and I was a fairly good basketball player, and he said, because you're Jewish. I keep thinking back, well, maybe I should have punched him in the face, or maybe I should have said something, but I think I just said nothing. And I just went back to the bench and sat down, and I was hurt, and it stuck with me for many years. But it's what we do when we're faced with oppression that counts.
That's not the end, folks. We are dropping the second half of this interview next weekend. There was just too much the good stuff for one episode. What the heck is that? Wonders, oh wonders of the world. So many wonders to behold. So many questions in my mind. So many questions, so little time. Answers don't so easily come unless you know to ask someone who is a master of the trade. Ask them how clouds get their shape. Welcome to What the Heck is That with David Shai Ventura.